Hello students, welcome to another lesson of Analyzing Poetry. Today we'll be analyzing the poem She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron. She walks in beauty, like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meets in her aspect in her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shady the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every reverent tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express, how pure, how dear their dwelling place. On that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tint that glows, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. George Gordon Byron, or simply known as Lord Byron, was born on January 22, 1788, in London, England. He was an English poet who wrote during the early 19th century. He is mostly associated with the movement referred to as Romanticism. He wrote this poem as a celebration of a woman's beauty. The speaker never says he's in love with her. He just thinks she's really, really beautiful. He wrote the poem in response to seeing his cousin Lady Wilmot Horton in a morning dress at a party of Lady Sitwell's on June 11, 1814. The poem was written by the next morning. It was published in Hebrew Melodies in 1815. This poem is a love poem. It expresses how beautiful this woman is that Lord Byron is looking at. The poem is about an unnamed woman. The speaker compares her to lots of beautiful but dark things, like the night and starry skies. There is contrast between light and dark, day and night, to describe her beauty. We also learn that her face is really pure and sweet. The third stanza wraps it all up. She's not just beautiful, she's good and innocent. Now we will analyze the title of the poem. The title of the poem is She Walks in Beauty. It introduces the subject of the poem, which is a beautiful woman. It is an echo of the famous sonnet by William Shakespeare, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shakespeare compares her to a summer's day, while Byron compares her to night. He is setting up a contrast between himself and Shakespeare. This was a brave move, as Shakespeare is considered the greatest poet of all time. Byron reverses Shakespeare's simile. Rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme of this poem is A, B, A, B, A, B. The poem is divided into 3 stanzas of 6 lines each. The poem is written in iambic tetrameter. Iambic refers to the pattern of stresses in the line. An iamb is an unstressed syllable, followed by a stressed syllable. Tetrameter means that there are 4 tetraiambs in the line. Literary devices. The literary devices in this poem are similes, personification, alliteration, allusions, imagery, and metaphors. The simile in this poem is She walks in beauty like the night. The personification is She walks in beauty. The alliteration is cloudless climes, starry skies, serenely sweet. The metaphor is raven tress. In lines 1 or 2 there is a simile. It is comparing the movement of the beautiful woman to the movement of the skies. Lines 8 to 10 are a metaphor. It is comparing grace. In lines 11 to 12 there is a metaphor and personification. It is comparing thoughts to people and comparing the mind to a home. Raven tress is a metaphor because Byron is implying that her dark hair makes her more beautiful. There is also an allusion, which is Byron's cousin. He was inspired by the beauty of her while she was wearing a black mourning gown. When the poem says, with all below, this alludes to the woman is high above everyone with her beauty and grace. The poem creates a comparison of the woman's beauty to the night sky and to the stars. The contrast between night and day and dark and light sets up the entire poem with imagery. Tone. The tone is romantic, calm, and soft. The tone helps express the speaker's admiration towards the girl. The tone affects the reader as it makes them feel love-struck. It is like when you are reading a fairy tale or watching a romantic movie. The figurative meanings in this poem are expressed through figurative language and literary devices, while the literal meanings in this poem are how beautiful the woman is and how good, sweet, and innocent. Theme. The theme in this poem is beauty, femininity, and appearance. The theme of the poem is the woman's exceptional beauty, internal as well as external. The first stanza praises her physical beauty. The second and third stanza praise both her physical beauty and intelligence. The woman's beauty is also compared to the contrast of darkness and light throughout the poem. The entire poem is one long description of a woman's beauty. How many different ways can the poet come up with to say she is so beautiful? The poem is focused on one woman. She is objectified by the speaker. He actually breaks down her appearance and focuses on different parts of her, from her hair to her eyes and skin to the way she walks. The speaker admires the woman throughout the poem and is in awe of her beauty. And that was the analysis of She Walks in Beauty. See you next class in another lesson of understanding poetry. Bye!